Hammer Studios' The Reptile. We all know why anyone would want to watch this. But what if I tell you there was some thought put behind this one? Even though this was made cheaply, fast, back to back to another schlock, some zombie flick which I deemed unwatchable. Look, we can talk about personal taste, but just go with it. So, what is The Reptile? It's not your usual monster movie. I thought it will be either your usual monster movie or a slasher. And it's not really either of them, mostly because of budgetary concern. We are told there are a plague of deaths, and we see right at the beginning that it's by the reptile. But then we expect it to be, well, especially when we meet the doctor, an insane scientist doing his insane science stuff, and then, the new neighbors arrive and just unveil everything. But it's not that. And, one way it could have used a bit more screen time, because I told the villagers and the relationship between the new couple arriving to settle here and the villagers' relationship will go anywhere, but it doesn't. I think they just winged it, then realized it's better. We don't have the screen time, the budget for this whole thing. But they used a bartender from those scenes as part of the trio of the good guys. Interestingly, the whole movie becomes a dynamic between two trio. The doctor, its butler, and the doctor's daughter versus the husband, the wife, and the bartender. What makes it interesting, one, the movie definitely has an atmosphere. It's probably entirely accidental, but the lighting, the music, and the swampy surroundings and the castle-like, old houses, it just works out. But what makes it really worth watching is the dynamic of the two trio. That the husband here is promising the woman, who is, just a woman, to never let her alone because the villagers are not too friendly. The doctor in the neighboring farm is just so suspicious, and all that kind of stuff, and storms and everything. And when they arrived, the house is the furniture is just thrown all over. It never really turns out what exactly happened. And then comes the bartender, who is kind of moving ahead, the plot ahead, moving the plot forward, and develops a friendship with the husband, and mediates between the husband and the wives, kinda, sorta, or just works as an excuse, whatever. On the other hand, the doctor turns out to be kind of a victim, although that doesn't never explained why he's smashing the sitar at the first meeting with the new family. But and the butler turns out to be the snake people's evil magician who cursed the daughter. And the daughter is not just has her own agenda and willpower and tries to get out of all this mess. But it's an interesting dynamic because the father tries to keep the status quo between the butler priest and the daughter and the village, and then the daughter tried to get away from her pretty abusive father, and the priest is is also the butler, so it's a down and up both in the hierarchy. It's just fun to watch, and the ending, because the ending, the turns out the doctor is not medical doctor, but a theologist who went around learning other religions, and he went to one of those forbidden areas. Look, it's a snake. It's a snake and a woman. We all know what this means. A theologian with unsupported interest, so to say. Snake, women, it's the Garden of Eden story. So he's getting punished for his curiosity. On the other, and when it so yeah, it's the woman who is the snake serpent. Obviously, it's a Satan, mashing together the snake and the woman and Satan into one thing, but also a tragic thing because it's the woman who gets unwillingly punished because it's not really her fault. And the very ending is that this doctor guy is starting to go around with his stuff. It's very Moses-like, and start beating the shit out of things. He thinks it's the transformed daughter because it's a shape-shifting monster. And then the whole hacienda gets on fire. So it's the Satan is thrown into the lake of fire, so to say. There is actually the basement an actual mud well lake thing, so that should complete the set. But what actually kills the monster is not this fire thing, but a thing from Dante's Inferno. If you remember, the deepest layer where Satan resides is not hot, it's ice cold. And the reptiles can't really survive in the cold climate like Britain. And the house is burning, and at the same time the snake monster is dying from cold. really poetic. I love this thing. Is it a good movie? It works, I would say. It's. I had to stop after 1 hour because I got a bit bored because it's made cheap. The people talk a little bit too fast. We have to show this. We are not doing high art and just get over with it. So it gets but it's not boring at the conceptual level, the acting level, or the voice. It's just, it's people walking around and talking, not enough action. Let's settle with that. And from the Hammer catalog, I think this is one of the really best they can offer. If you are not into the classic, Frankenstein, Dracula stuff, which I'm not.